Hi, I'm Dr. Grace Mille. Welcome to Vital Men Over 50, where science meets serenity. If you've noticed your body doesn't feel as strong as it used to, if your sleep is lighter or your motivation has started to fade, you're not alone. Here I'll help you rebalance your hormones, restore your strength, and rediscover your natural energy. No pills, no pressure. Just small habits that create powerful results. Because aging doesn't take your strength away. It simply teaches you how to use it more wisely. So, take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and begin this journey with me. Hit subscribe and join thousands of men who are living stronger, healthier, and calmer lives after 50. When you were young, do you remember? Everything seemed easier. You could work all day and still feel full of energy. But by the time you reach 50, 60, or 70, you start to realize your body doesn't listen the way it used to. You tire more quickly, sleep more lightly, and sometimes you feel like your inner spark is slowing down. The surprising truth is the reason isn't always complicated. Sometimes it's right there in the glass of water you drink every day. I know that sounds almost too simple to believe, but after more than 25 years working with men and women across America, I've learned that the simplest things are often the most important ones. Water is the foundation of life, everyone knows that. But few people realize that the quality of your life is also shaped by the quality of the water inside your body. I once had a patient named Robert, 63 years old. He told me, "Doctor, I take my medications, I exercise, I eat fairly well, but I'm still tired, especially in the afternoons. I just don't feel like myself anymore." We checked everything: heart hormones, testosterone, blood pressure, all perfectly normal. Then I asked Robert, "How much water do you drink in a day?" He laughed. "Maybe 2 cups of coffee in the morning and a few sips of water before bed." I smiled and said, "So basically, you're asking your body to run all day like an engine with no oil." He looked surprised. But after just 2 weeks of changing one habit, starting each morning with a glass of warm water and drinking small amounts throughout the day, he came back with a bright smile. "I don't know what happened, doctor," he said, "but I don't get that afternoon crash anymore. I wake up sharper and even my sleep feels deeper." You see, sometimes your body doesn't need more energy, it just needs to be refreshed. Think of a dry garden. You can add fertilizer, trim the leaves, but if you forget to water it, it will still wither. Your body works the same way. Every cell, from your heart and brain to your muscles, depends on water. Even your blood, which carries oxygen everywhere, is nearly 80% water. When you're dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker and moves more slowly, and everything from memory and energy to sexual vitality begins to drop. Here's something most people don't know. Thirst is a late signal. By the time you feel thirsty, your body is already short on water. Circulation slows, energy dips, and the body quietly shifts into survival mode, sending blood to the heart and brain first, while leaving other organs, especially sexual organs, waiting last in line. Picture this: you're trying to water a garden with a twisted hose. No matter how high you turn the faucet, the flow stays weak, dripping instead of streaming. That's what hidden dehydration does. It silently squeezes the life flow out of your body. When you drink too little or drink the wrong way, for example, gulping most of it at night, your circulation never runs smoothly. Your body becomes like a clogged plumbing system, slow, heavy, drained of vitality. Modern research backs this up. Losing just 1 to 2% of your body's water can already reduce brain performance. You struggle to focus, feel fatigued, and your mood becomes unstable. In fact, a Harvard study found that even mild dehydration can temporarily lower testosterone, affecting confidence, mood, and sexual health. So the next time you feel tired or unmotivated, it may not be age, it may just be thirst you haven't noticed. One of the most common mistakes I see is people treating water like a chore. They chug it down quickly or save it all for the evening. But your body isn't a bottle that needs to be filled up. It's a flowing stream that needs steady movement. Hydration isn't about drinking more, it's about drinking right, slowly, consistently throughout the day. Many men tell me, "Doctor, I'm fine. I don't even feel thirsty." But after 50, your natural thirst response decreases with age, which means you could be running dry without realizing it. And each day it stays that way. Your energy quietly fades, slowly, silently, but surely. Health doesn't always require huge change. Sometimes it begins with something small each morning. A glass of water, a deep breath, a moment to listen to your body. Little by little, vitality returns. Water isn't magic. It's simply the language your body uses to revive itself. And if you learn to speak that language again, everything energy, sleep, focus, even confidence will begin to change. Start small, because youthfulness doesn't always come from a pill. Sometimes it begins with a single glass of water drunk with gratitude for the body you live in. When I tell my patients, "Let's talk about water," many of them laugh. "Oh, doctor, I drink water all the time. I'm sure I'm doing it right." But after a few questions, I usually discover they're doing it wrong. Not because they don't care, but because no one ever taught them how to hydrate properly. So let me share a few of the most common mistakes. The small habits that quietly drain your energy every day without you realizing it. Most mornings start with coffee, the sound of the machine, the aroma filling the kitchen, the warmth of the cup in your hands. It feels like a comforting ritual, almost spiritual. But here's the truth. Few people mention. Coffee doesn't wake up your body, it dehydrates it. After 7 or 8 hours of sleep, your body has quietly lost water through breathing and metabolism. When you wake up, your blood is thicker, circulation is slower, and your body is thirsty for refreshment. But what do most people do first thing in the morning? They reach for a diuretic coffee, pushing out what little water they still have left. The result? You start your day feeling artificially alert, but your body is already running on empty. I once told a patient, James, age 59, a busy executive, "You don't need to give up coffee. You just need to let water go first." Simply drinking a 10-ounce glass, about 300 milliliters of water before his morning coffee made all the difference. Within a week, he told me, "My head feels clearer, I'm less tired, and I don't rely on caffeine as much." Sometimes you don't have to give up your habits. You just need to reorder them so your body comes first. Many men tell me, "I'm too busy during the day, so I make up for it at night." But the body doesn't work like a desert and a flood. If you let it dry out all day, then pour in 2 or 3 glasses of water before bed, it can't absorb what it needs. That water rushes straight to your bladder and wakes you up at 2 a.m. for another trip to the bathroom. Interrupted sleep means lower nighttime testosterone and less recovery. By morning, you're even more tired than before. One of my patients, Richard, 67, told me, "I drink plenty of water, doctor, but I'm still tired and I can't sleep well." So I asked, "When do you drink it?" He said, "Right before bed, because I forget all day." We both laughed, but after he spread his water intake evenly, small steady sips, he said, "I sleep deeper. My face isn't puffy in the morning, and my body feels lubricated again." That's the most common and most dangerous mistake I see. People think if I'm not thirsty, I must be fine. But that's not true, especially after 50. As we age, the thirst signal slows down. Your body can already be dehydrated before your brain even notices. By the time you feel thirsty, your blood is thicker, circulation sluggish, and energy low. Have you noticed this? In the afternoon, your pace drops, your eyes feel dry, your mind heavy. You think I need coffee. But often, your body just needs water. Science proves that losing only 2% of body water can reduce your focus and reaction speed by 10 to 15%. And if you're trying to stay strong physically and sexually, letting your body stay thirsty quietly drains your vitality. I once had a patient, Robert, who was determined to change after hearing this. The next morning, he called me proudly. "Doctor, I drank almost 3 liters of water before lunch," I laughed. "Robert, you're trying to save a desert, but you just created a flood. Your body doesn't need a lot of water at once. It needs a steady flow. Like watering a plant, dump a bucket all at once and most of it runs off. But pour slowly and the soil absorbs every drop, nourishing the roots." Hydration works the same way. It's not about how much you drink, it's about how consistently you drink. Your body isn't a gas tank to fill. It's a garden to be watered gently, evenly, every day. If you change only one thing today, start drinking water earlier, slower, and more steadily. Not because the doctor said so, but because your body deserves your attention. Do you recognize any of these habits in yourself? Share your experience in the comments below. And stay tuned, because in the next video I'll guide you through my 5-minute morning ritual, a simple routine to boost circulation, calm the mind, and awaken your body's natural energy. There's a saying I love. Your body doesn't need to be filled, it needs to be watered. When you truly understand that hydration stops being a chore and becomes a way of life, rhythmic, mindful, and full of care. Because the real secret to stable health, circulation, and energy after 50 isn't how much you drink, it's how you drink throughout the day. I call it steady sipping, hydrating the way you nurture life itself, one sip at a time. Not gulping all at once, not forgetting all day, then catching up at night, but drinking slowly, evenly, like a gentle stream flowing through you. Imagine watering your garden by dumping one big bucket most runs off. But when you water slowly, each drop soaks in, keeping the roots alive all day. Your body works the same way. When you sip half a glass, about 4 to 5 ounces, every 45 to 60 minutes, your blood stays fluid, your heart doesn't have to strain, and your afternoon energy stays steady. After your first glass in the morning, keep sipping gently through the next few hours, about 1 glass an hour. That's when your circulation, digestion, and hormones all begin to sync. I always tell my patients, don't let coffee wake you up. Let water make you alive. Coffee may jolt you awake, but water keeps you truly alert. It boosts oxygen flow, clears brain fog, and makes your morning feel lighter and more focused. One of my patients, Daniel 62, said I didn't believe water could make such a difference. But after 10 days of steady sipping, my mornings felt sharper and I stopped needing that second cup of coffee. Around midday, many people feel tired or drowsy and reach for sugar or caffeine. But in most cases, it's not lack of energy, it's lack of water. When dehydration thickens your blood, less oxygen reaches your brain and you feel slow, heavy, and unfocused. So before you grab that coffee or cookie, try a glass of water. Simple, slow, maybe with a squeeze of lemon or a pinch of sea salt. Within 10 minutes, you'll often feel awake again, without caffeine, without a crash. That's real energy, not borrowed energy. Between 2 and 6 p.m. is the energy dip for most people over 50. That's the time to keep sipping steady, not excessive, to prevent fatigue and brain fog. And if you plan to exercise, take a walk, or be intimate with your partner, drink water at least 45 minutes beforehand. That gives your body time to absorb it so you stay comfortable and hydrated, not heavy or interrupted midway. One of my patients, Robert, used to drink 2 big glasses right before workouts. The result? He felt bloated, uncomfortable, and had to stop halfway. After I taught him to pace his water intake, he told me, "Strange. I'm drinking the same amount as before, but now my body feels lighter, more agile, and my workouts are so much more comfortable." That's the power of rhythm, not volume. About 2 hours before bedtime, start tapering your water. That helps you sleep deeper and avoids waking up in the night with a full bladder. If your mouth feels dry, take a small sip, just don't chug. Sleep is when your body restores hormones, and those middle-of-the-night bathroom trips are completely avoidable. I know many people say, "I forget. I'm not used to drinking regularly." But your body learns quickly if you teach it with rhythm, not pressure. Keep a small bottle on your desk, set reminders on your phone, or simply take a sip every time you change tasks or stand up. When you link hydration to your daily rhythm, it stops being a chore and becomes a natural cadence. After a few weeks, you'll notice it: brighter skin, a clearer mind, and no more afternoon energy crash. I always tell my patients, you can't make a river young again if you let it run dry. Your body is a river. If you want it to flow smoothly, easily, you have to keep it just full enough every day, a little at a time. Drinking with the right rhythm doesn't just make you healthier, it slows you down in the best way, so you actually feel each moment, each breath, each heartbeat as someone truly present in your own life. And that, my friends, is the art of steady sipping. It isn't just about water. It's a way of living whole, aware, and sustainable. Picture this. Your body is more than 70% water. Your blood, water. Your brain, muscles, skin, even your hormones depend on water to function. Yet most of us treat water like an afterthought. We drink when we're thirsty, forget when we're busy, and only remember it when our body starts to cry for help. Blood is your energy highway. It carries oxygen, nutrients, hormones, life to every cell. When you're dehydrated, blood thickens, moves slower, and the heart has to pound harder to push flow through tiny vessels, like trying to pump water through a kinked hose. Imagine it, your heart working overtime day after day, simply because you don't hydrate properly. A Harvard study found that just a 2% drop in body water significantly reduces blood flow to muscles and the brain. What does that mean? You feel tired, foggy, and yes, you may even lose desire. Because circulation is the foundation of vitality. I once told a patient, George, 61, an erection is at its core, a hydraulic event. Blood is pumped into tissue and held there under pressure. He laughed. So, I'm basically a garden hose. Doc, I smiled. Exactly. And if the hose is short on water, pressure is weak, you won't get the firmness you want. We often reach for pills, supplements, or hormones, and forget that water is the first ingredient in blood pressure and perfusion. Let yourself run dry and everything slows. Circulation, metabolism, sexual response. Here's the miracle with 1 to 2 weeks of proper steady hydration. Many men in their 60s and 70s notice a real change. Mornings start with more energy, the mind clears, and masculine vitality returns naturally without force. When you're thirsty, it's not just your mouth that's dry, you're drying out your brain. It's only 2% of your body weight, but uses 20% of your blood flow. So when dehydration thickens blood and slows circulation, the brain immediately protests. You lose focus, memory slips, and sometimes you get irritable without knowing why. One patient, Paul, 58, told me, "Doctor, I'm so forgetful lately. My wife says I'm spaced out." Nothing neurological was wrong. He was drinking less than a liter of water a day. We changed just one thing: regular hourly sips. 2 weeks later, he came back smiling. I had no idea water could make my mind feel bright. I told him, water doesn't just feed the body, it wakes up the brain. Here's something most people miss. Testosterone also depends on healthy blood flow. When circulation is strong, the endocrine system, adrenals, testes, gets well nourished, supporting natural drive and vitality. But when blood slows from dehydration, the whole energy network drops into a power-saving mode, like a city with rolling blackouts. The lights dim and life drags. So drinking properly isn't just health care, it's guarding your masculine edge. At a talk in San Diego, someone asked me, "Dr. Grace, if you could pick only one habit for thriving after 50, what would it be?" I looked at the glass in my hand and said, "I'd keep my body flowing. When the body flows, blood flows, energy flows, the mind flows. When it stalls, you feel older, heavier, and the light fades from your eyes." Hydrating well is how you honor that inner flow, not rushed, not parched, not neglecting yourself. Start today. Before you reach for pills or complex fixes, ask, have I given my body enough water? Don't underestimate that small question. In biology, water is the oldest miracle of all. It doesn't shout, it doesn't advertise, but it can do what many drugs cannot: keep you alive, circulating, and strong. Let me share something almost every man over 50 experiences: that tired for no reason feeling. Not just in your body, in your mind. You're not exactly sick, but everything feels heavier. Sleep isn't deep, energy is uneven, mood swings. And you tell yourself, I must be getting old. But the truth is, you may not be old at all. Your body might just be thirsty and your hormones exhausted. Stress isn't only work or worry. Stress also comes from inside, when your body has to fight to keep balance. When you're dehydrated, your body immediately switches into survival mode. It releases cortisol, a hormone designed to help you retain salt and water, so your blood pressure and circulation can stay stable. But here's the problem: if this happens too often, cortisol stops being your rescuer and quietly becomes your saboteur. It speeds up your heart rate, disrupts your sleep, and directly blocks testosterone, the hormone that fuels a man's energy, confidence, and vitality. I've met countless men in their 50s and 60s who say, "I just don't feel like myself anymore." Yet when we test them, their testosterone isn't dangerously low. The real culprit is high cortisol and chronic dehydration. Cortisol is the stress hormone, but it's also a warning system. It tells your body to stay on guard, as if you're living in a war zone, even when you're just sitting at your desk. When this alert state lasts too long, the brain reacts. You become irritable, distracted, and lose interest in things that once made you happy. One of my patients, Anthony, 59, told me, "I don't know what's wrong, doctor. I don't enjoy my morning walks anymore. I don't feel like talking to my wife. And at night, I just lie awake, restless." His testosterone levels were fine, but his cortisol, twice the normal range, and the root cause was chronic dehydration. I taught him to drink water consistently throughout the day, cut back on caffeine, and take short recovery breaks during work. 3 weeks later, he came back and said, "I had no idea my body needed water that much. I feel calmer, like everything inside me has softened and settled." Think about it when you're stressed. You breathe faster, your heart pounds, your mouth goes dry. That's when you lose the most water through evaporation. If you don't replenish it, your brain assumes we're still in danger and keeps releasing cortisol. That's why a warm glass of water during stress can literally send the opposite signal to your brain. We're safe now. I call it breathing with water. It's not magic, it's pure physiology. Water calms your sympathetic nervous system, lowers heart rate balances, blood pressure, and gently brings cortisol back to safe levels. Many men tell me they can't sleep deeply. They wake up at 2 or 3 a.m., heart racing, mind restless, and wake in the morning feeling like they never rested at all. Often the real culprit isn't age, it's dehydration-induced cortisol spikes. When you're low on water, your kidneys can't filter efficiently. Blood pressure fluctuates, and the brain interprets it as danger. Cortisol surges again, right in the middle of the night. And that's when you wake up. The solution is simple, but rarely practiced. Drink water steadily throughout the day, then stop about 2 hours before bed. That gives your body enough hydration to rest easy without waking up for bathroom trips. The human body has memory. If you keep it thirsty, it learns to survive in scarcity. But if you hydrate it consistently, it learns to relax. Cortisol drops. Testosterone flows naturally again. And you feel steady, calm, and strong without pills, without forcing anything. So the next time you feel stressed, don't reach for coffee or alcohol. Pause. Take a slow sip of water. Breathe deeply. You'll realize peace might just be one glass away. Remember, stress isn't the enemy. It's a signal your body asking for care. Answer that signal with the simplest gift: water. No gimmicks, no cost, just steady, mindful hydration. Because every sip you take today is a quiet message to yourself: I'm taking care of me. And when you start loving your body that way, your hormones, your energy, and your confidence, they all return. You know, after seeing thousands of patients over the years, there's one thing I've learned. Nothing restores the body quite like deep sleep, except perhaps water. And when those two come together, when your body is well hydrated and well rested, that's when the real magic happens. Not just for your health, but for your hormones, your energy, and your masculine vitality. Sleep isn't simply rest, it's repair. It's when your brain clears out toxins, your liver filters your blood, and your pituitary gland releases testosterone, the core hormone of male strength and vitality. But here's what most people overlook. If you're dehydrated, that whole process breaks down. When your body lacks water, your blood thickens, circulation slows, and your brain doesn't get enough oxygen. Your sleep becomes lighter, you wake easily. You can tell it's happening when you wake up with a dry mouth, a foggy head, and the sense that you didn't sleep even after 8 hours in bed. I always tell my patients, a good night's sleep starts with the morning glass of water, not the sleeping pill at night. Because if you drink too little during the day, your body has to produce a water-retaining hormone vasopressin at night, forcing your kidneys to work overtime, and you'll wake up heart-pounding, unable to fall back asleep. On the other hand, drink too much water late at night and you'll wake up for a different reason. So what's the answer? It's beautifully simple. Stay hydrated consistently from morning through afternoon. Then stop about 2 hours before bedtime. That balance gives your body enough water to rest deeply without interrupting your sleep. One of my patients, Ethan, 63, a retired construction engineer, came to me exhausted. He said, "Doctor, I don't feel like myself anymore." When I asked about his habits, he laughed nervously. "I drink coffee all day, and I only remember water when I'm already thirsty. At night my throat's dry, but if I drink, I have to get up and pee." I gave him a simple plan: steady water intake through the day, a pinch of minerals in his morning glass, and no water after the 2-hour bedtime mark. 3 weeks later, he came back and said, "Doctor, I finally slept 6 hours straight. I woke up clear-headed. And honestly, I feel younger again. No pills, no hormones, just water and sleep, the body's oldest, most faithful friends." When you sleep deeply, your pituitary gland sends a signal to your testes to produce testosterone. Most of that hormone is made between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m., but only if your body is truly resting in deep sleep. When you're dehydrated, your brain struggles to regulate temperature, your heart works harder, and you're easily awakened. That restless sleep lowers testosterone night after night. So when men tell me I just don't have the same morning energy anymore, it's often not age. It's the quiet accumulation of shallow sleep and days of a body quietly running dry. No medication can replace the power of real rest. And no synthetic hormone is stronger than clean water and peaceful sleep. If you're in your 50s, 60s, or beyond, treat every night like a ritual, a small gift you give your body. Before bed, turn off your screens, dim the lights, take a slow sip of water, and breathe deeply as if you're tucking your hormones in for the night. Because during deep sleep, water, blood, and hormones work together to restore you from the inside out. I want you to remember this. Strength doesn't come from doing more. It comes from allowing your body to rest more deeply. Water lets you flow. Sleep lets you settle. And in that stillness, energy, vitality, and manhood are reborn. Let tonight be a new beginning. Before you turn out the lights, say softly to your body, "Thank you for carrying me this far." Then let water and sleep take it from there. You know, we've taken quite a journey together from that first morning glass of water to steady sipping through the day, to deep healing sleep at night, where hormones awaken and energy is renewed. If there's one message I want you to keep from this video, it's this: real strength doesn't come from adding more. It comes from rebalancing what's already within you. Let me be clear. Hydration isn't a health hack. It's a way of life, a daily act of connection with your body, the one that's carried you through more than half your lifetime. Every sip you take is a quiet thank you to your heart for still beating, to your muscles for still moving, and to your spirit for still wanting to live better each day. I've seen men in their 60s and 70s, men who thought their best years were behind them, completely renew themselves just by changing their rhythm, drinking water the right way, sleeping at the right time, and listening to their body with respect. They regained what they thought was lost energy focus and that quiet confidence when they looked in the mirror again. And I want you to remember this. It's never too late to start over. It doesn't matter how long you've neglected your health, how many late nights you've had, or how many times you've forgotten to drink water. What matters is that right now you want to change. Start small. One morning glass of water, one slow breath, one full night's sleep. And little by little, your body will soften, lighten, and strengthen again. That's not magic. That's biology plus care. I know being a man isn't easy. You carry responsibilities, you don't complain. And most of the time, you only think about health when it starts to slip away. But hear me clearly. Your body is still here, just waiting for you to take care of it the right way. It doesn't need much, just water, sleep, and a bit of attention. If you learned something new from this video, start tomorrow. Before your morning coffee, drink your first glass of water. Then come back here after a week and share your experience in the comments. Tell me what changed your energy, your sleep, your mood. I read every message and I truly appreciate each one. If this video helped you, please click like, share it with another man you care about, and subscribe to the channel so we can keep exploring topics that matter. Circulation, hormones, and natural health after 50. Every video I make comes from one simple wish to help you live slower, but stronger, steadier, and freer. You can't change the past, but you can rebuild your future, starting today. Let water nourish your blood. Let sleep restore your hormones. And let peace become the foundation of your new strength. I'm Dr. Grace Mille, and I believe this with all my heart. Aging doesn't steal your strength. Forgetting how to care for yourself does. Start again and let your body feel loved through the simplest things. A glass of water, a night of sleep, and a moment of stillness.